Milk Ross takes place from May 20 to May 27th this month now, and I'm joined by the Cycleways team here this morning. And you are?
Eugene.
Philip.
Brian is my name.
Adrian.
Aidan.
And we're also joined this morning by Phillip Cassidy. Good morning to you, Phil.
Good morning.
Now, you are one of the pre-race favourites and have won this title on many?
Two occasions, 1983 and 1999.
Now, you're saying it's a tough going on this.
It's a very, very difficult event. People you can't underestimate it. It's a really, really hard event. It's tough for everybody, no matter one of the favourites or one of the back of the field. It's very hard for everybody, really.
Now, how many stages are there?
There's 8 stages. 8 stages in total, and we average just around 100 miles a day for the week between each day.
And are people very supportive of the whole thing? Like, they get out on the streets and they cheer you on?
They are. The public are fantastic, and we want to see more of them out there. It is when you're getting it hard. It's a big boost to see people out cheering you on and giving you a boost through the town.
It keeps you going.
It does. It's excellent. It's great that when people do that.
And of course, the big final day then is the cycle race around Dublin City.
Yeah, we have a criterium on O'Connell Street. It's a circuit race around O'Connell Street. It's a spectacular day. It's a great event to watch, and it's a day that people should come out and have a look. It's very, very good, really, you know.
Now, how many people are taking part in it this year?
We have 180 competitors. It's a record year. It's the biggest year ever. This year is the first year we have UCI World Ranking points, which count towards the Olympic Games and the World Championships later in the year. So there's a big contingent coming from the continent, very strong field coming from
Lots of countries taking part.
Lots of 16 countries in total being represented.
Now, how long you lads here, you call the Cycleways team, is that it? How long have you been together?
We started the team from January this year.
So just relatively new.
Exactly, it is our first year. Yeah, Brian and I are in business together in Cycleways, and we decided we'd do this and just get it up and running and do something for sport.
So now, and you're all part-time, let's do this for the love of it, and you've got a bit of a surprise this morning, I hear.
Yeah, I got a lovely surprise last night. I got a phone call from Bill Wallace, is our neighbour in Parnell Street, and Walden Motors in Parnell Street, and present us with this beautiful Ford Focus and kit it out.
Take a look at this, a lovely Ford Focus car. So this is going to help you throughout your cycling throughout the year.
Well, it's a fantastic vehicle. You can see it's done out. It's done out particularly for the cycling. We've got specific racks made for it that were fitted to it. It was a surprise to us. Bill got all this done announced to us, so it's going to be a massive boost to us for the rest of the year, basically. And it puts a bit of professionalism about the event, and we'd really like to thank Bill for that.
Bill and Walden Motors, thank you very much for that this morning. He's presenting you the key there, and good luck to you lads. The annual Tour of Ireland cycle race, the FBD Milk Race. Get out and...
The FBD Milk Ross is one of the great traditions of Irish sport. Now in its 49th year, it continues to go from strength to strength. The race is now one of the select group of events throughout the world that's entitled to award qualifying points for entry to such as the Olympic Games and the World Championships. This year, a field of 189 riders has drawn teams from Poland, Sweden, Netherlands, Germany, South Africa, Japan, Switzerland, Canada, United States of America, Britain, including Scotland and Wales, all of whom will compete against the very best of Irish cycling. During the 8-day race, the competitors will cover a distance of over 1,115 kilometres, approximately 700 miles. From Navan, the route takes the riders west to the first stage finish in Ballahadreen. Then the cyclists head south into Kerry and over Mall's Gap. Then it's through West Cork before returning to Dublin for a city centre criterium around the streets of Ireland's capital city. The first stage is 155 kilometres from Navan to Ballahadreen. With 2 kilometres to go to the finish line, Irish champion David McCann jumped clear of the leading group and held off the chasers to take stage victory. The rest of the group were caught by the main field. They finished 6 seconds behind McCann. Great victory for the Irish Olympian, with David Kopp of Team Deutsche taking second in the sprint for the line. David McCann, the winner of the stage and the first wearer of the yellow jersey. Well, there's confirmation of the result then. On the GC, it's McCann from last year's winner, Julian Wynn. Day 2 of the FBD Milk Ross took the race from Ballahadreen to Portumna, a distance of 131 kilometres. The Carabon, 93 k's into the race, Irish rider Morgan Fox found himself leader on the road as he policed a 5-man leading group. With 25 kilometres remaining, the group swelled to 15 and opened a gap to 143 back to the main field. In front of a large crowd in Portumna, County Galway, 19-year-old German Dirk Riekel took the stage win. Henrik Olden of the Swedish team took second, with Krzysztof Zazada of the Polish professional squad taking third. Ireland's Morgan Fox held on for fourth on the stage and moved up to second overall, just 4 seconds down on the young German. Yeah, it was a good day for the Telecom team. They won the stage, they held the race lead, the mountains jersey and the best under-23 competition lead, all courtesy of young Dirk Riekel. He also lead the international team competition. A check on the general classification after day 2 shows that in the lead it's Riekel by 4 seconds from Fox, with Chazo the Swiss in third place. Stage 3 of the FBD, from Nina to Castle Island, with 3 mountain climbs, is the longest in this year's event at 184 kilometres. The first of those climbs, the Category 2 Ascent of Bolin Brook, came after just 9 miles and saw last year's Ross winner Julian Wynne of Wales crest the summit ahead of Stefan Schumacher of the German Telecom team. On the final climb at Ballydesmond with just 26k left, Ray Clark attacked from the breakaway group in a brave solo bid for staged glory. But the undulating roads and sheer pressure of the German-British combination saw his downfall with just 10k to go. David Kopp of Germany won the sprint finish ahead of David Mackenzie and the local hero Eugene Moriarty. Kopp's Telecom teammate Dirk Riekel held on to retain his yellow jersey for another day and also leads the best under-23 rider competition. Despite being the shortest stage of this year's FBD Milk Ross, the 109 kilometres fourth stage from Castle Island to Killoughlin was going to be one of the toughest of them all, with the inclusion of the first category climb on the Connor Pass. The main field were all together at the foot of the Connor Pass, but as they climbed and went over the top, former Giro d'Italia rider David Mackenzie took the points from the Polish pro Marek Blasi and the Deutsche Telekom Christian Nies. With 25 kilometres to go, the front group swelled to 22 riders. When Paul Manning of Great Britain had a double puncture in the front group, teammate Brian Steele waited for him and eventually went back to the chase group, ultimately helping the German team close the gap to just over a minute on the line. Mark Scanlon, Ireland's Shannon Oaks, took his first stage win in his first FBD Milk Ross as he outsprinted Mackenzie, David Kopp, Mike McNaina, Paul Griffin and David O'Loughlin. Great win for Scanlon. David Mackenzie was happy with the second place and the lead in the King of the Mountains. His teammate David Chassow took over the yellow jersey with the first 10 riders on GC all on the same time. The fifth stage takes the riders from Killoughlin to Skibbereen in West Cork, a journey of about 150 kilometres with 10 mountain climbs along the route, including the famed Mall's Gap. The field now down to 172 riders as they depart Killoughlin. Well, race director Dermot Dignam has given the signal, as you saw on the ROF, and they're racing. And early on, the 3 here at the top of the picture from the Deutsche Telekom, that's the Jan Ulrich team, David Kopp, who's had a very good week so far, Finan O'Sullivan from riding for the Kildare team, and the Kerryman who's riding for the Meath Cycleways team, Eugene Moriarty, and he's been prominent this week.
He has indeed, and today is a special day for him. Jimmy has gone in through his own roads that he knows so well, and he has promised a good ride today, and I'd expect it from him.
We saw there Dennis O'Shea, Phillip Cassidy, Raymond Clark, former Irish champion, riding now for the Derry team. This international flavour in the thing has given the race a great boost indeed. And you can see back to the chase, and there's not very much. That can be gobbled up in a matter of a few pushes of the pedals, as you so well know. Now at the 10 climbs, nobody's in any great hurry to do anything drastic. Or what have we got here? It's young Duff, Adrian Duff.
Young Duff is having a go here. The idea, I think, of the Irish boys today is to bring the tempo higher so that the attacks can't go without them at least being at the front to know it.
The race approaching Killarney, County Kerry. And there's a bit of a shuffle in the pack. Malarchek, one of the Welsh riders, that's a good Welsh name, Malarchek. The one in blue there is Richard Cal.
The speed now is up to an average of 28 miles an hour.
Dennis O'Shea, Raymond Clark, Eugene Moriarty we saw past in Cathedral, Phillip Cassidy from that Meads Cycleways team as well. That's a strong team with Phillip. David O'Loughlin here with Peter Wedge of Canada and Hugh Pritchard. David O'Loughlin going well, Adrian Duff in that lot as well. That's the chase. Looks a strong 5 this.
It's a very good break, this one.
Moriarty, of course, another Kerry man.
That's true, that's true.
Although riding in this race for the Meads Cycleways team.
With the team captain beside him there, Phillip Cassidy.
What a great rider Cassidy is. He's been through it all with such wonderful enthusiasm. Even the Jarvies are taking time out to have a look. This is the second group, the chasing group, just coming out of Killarney. Well, they wrote songs about it, and why not? It's beautiful, Ray.
Beautiful, and it really shown itself off to the world in this race today.
That's a very strong quintet that's leading the field, and they'll take some catching.
Very strong. Dennis O'Shea riding his socks off at the moment.
All the time, though, that chase is on to try and bridge across and bring them back.
David O'Loughlin from Mayo is trying very hard to get up. He's one of the fancied riders this year, and he's trying very hard to get up.
Tough climbing day for everybody in the race.
Adrian Duff riding up beside O'Loughlin and two of the South African boys on the far side.
South Africa with a strong team, including Nicholas White.
This group are riding very strongly. I wonder have the leading group gone too early.
They got it to just over 2 minutes at one stage. There's a King of the Mountains points going here, just above Ladies View.
Dennis O'Shea going strongly for it.
Below them, Ladies View, and this is for points in the King of the Mountains. Dennis O'Shea going well for it, but Nicholas White, the South African, is the man who takes the King of the Mountains points.
Here's White again on Mall's Gap. Dennis O'Shea is taking it from White with Cassidy.
That was another preem there, Mall's Gap. What a day of climbing, what a day of famous names. And now the descent into Kenmare. That's next. The leaders have already gone through Kenmare as we pick up the chasing group here.
This is Duff and O'Loughlin.
They're getting the information now. 3 minutes 15 seconds to the chase.
That's incredible riding for this quintet. It really is incredible riding, and they have put it up now to the might of the international teams to come and catch them.
Well, now if they can do bit and bit here, they'll really be very difficult to catch, but the Germans will have a thing or two to say about that, because they've had a very prominent week indeed. What a good team the Jan Ullrich Deutsche Telekom team is.
Indeed they are, Jimmy. One of the best teams to come into the Ross in many years.
The climb up to Turner's Rock. And it's Nicholas White at the head of affairs here. Dennis O'Shea in his wake. O'Shea's been prominent all the time. 10 in this group chasing them. When we did here, it was 3 minutes was the gap. The faller at the back there was McAteer.
They don't look as if they're making inroads into the leading 5, Jim. They seem to be still holding that lead despite the attacks coming from behind them.
The South African is missing from that lot. That's White. And it's down to 4. Cassidy, Moriarty, Clark and O'Shea.
That's amazing. I would have thought he was one of the strong men of that quintet. There you have it. The Irish boys are still riding strongly.
The legs of Eugene Moriarty.
Looking stronger than ever.
What a great servant he's been, and a great ad really for the Rás Tailteann as it used to be, the FBD Milk Ross now.
Now, despite what we said earlier on, O'Shea is back in it again. I thought he was struggling for a while, but he's back in it. Ray Clark is still there. And the South Africans back on.
Yeah, Nicholas White, number 56. You talked there about Phillip Cassidy. Back to 1983, Phillip won the Ross. That was just 4 years after Stephen Roach won it. Stephen Roach long since retired, and Cassidy flying.
Still going. And won it again in 1999, Jimmy. Incredible.
And there he is. He's got the food stashed away. He's got the water bottle ready. And Cassidy is as enthusiastic as he ever was. And here is the chase. Now, if they could get themselves together here, they could bring it really back. Germans would be very strong.
Tommy Evans of Ireland is there.
Tommy Evans is there, as you say, as well.
Former winner of the Ross as well, Jim, riding strongly again of the Irish team.
Winner in 1996, Tommy Evans. Well, the leading group is now down to 4, and as you rather suggested, O'Shea was finally going a bit tough.
Yes, he's found it a bit tough now. The speed is a little bit too much for him today. He's ridden very, very well. Nothing to be ashamed of.
He's responded to every move that's been made, and he had obviously no more left to give, not in this particular day. Another King of the Mountain.
South Africa takes it again. And now that 4 begins to break up. I think our time is limited.
This chasing group is really moving along now.
They really are. Someone in trouble here, Jim.
And there's someone, unfortunately, for all his great effort, is Phillip Cassidy.
Yes, he seems to be really in big trouble now. His legs have just gone. He just lost it for today.
That leaves 3 at the head, and they're going through Skull, and it's Eugene Moriarty getting a nice welcome. It's nice to see the young people out.
The chase is on here behind them, and it looks like the hammer is down now among the pros. Paul Manning of Great Britain.
Paul Manning leading them, and there's the yellow jersey of Chasso, the Swiss rider. And the King of the Mountains is David McKenzie.
Former pro with the Linda McCartney team, Jim. He won a stage in the Giro d'Italia last year.
Well, they've been hauled in. It's been a long day for them. They've tried and they've tried, but it looks like now being in vain. Oh, it's all been gobbled up now.
Christian Nies of Germany leading the attack back. And it's all over for that valiant. It was a great break, Jim. They really, really tried. Nies of Germany leading the pack back up to them.
And there's the chase. That's David McCann, the winner of stage 1 last Sunday, and David Kopp from Germany in the green jersey. They were first and second, and they were
indeed, and they're really putting the hammer down here now. The bunch are coming screaming back to the 6 who are ahead now.
Well, they're obviously all going to be together, at least about 10 of them it looks like, up to the finish. And the flag is ready for them, and it's Naas, the German, who's up at the head of affairs. He got a good lead out and he's won it. The Finn Hakkinen was second, and Manning Great Britain was third, and Eugene Moriarty, if he fits the effort he made all day, is in to take 4th place, and it'll all be sorted out on the computer. But another win for the Germans. Naas the winner. And here is the stage winner, Christian Naas of Germany, the Deutsche Telekom Jan Ulrich team. And the yellow jersey goes on the shoulders of Manning of Great Britain, who finished 3rd on the stage into skid. From Skibbereen to Dungarvan, according to the FBD Milk Ross, it's 163 kilometres. Paul Manning, the British team, is the man in yellow, but on the same time on GC as Naas, the German who won yesterday's stage into Skibbereen. Manning is in yellow because of higher placings during the week up to then. And there's the whole race pretty well together, which would suggest that the speed is not as high today. Into Bandon, and another photograph for the album. And when he gets the photograph developed, he'll wonder who they were.
Indeed. The bunch seem to be taking it quite pedestrian today, Jimmy. They don't seem to be too concerned about that front group at the moment.
Well, you were asking how much the time was. The board says 39 seconds. It's not a lot, but if they work bit and bit together with a bit of effort, they might stay away. Was the sprint for points.
Now they're strung out a bit. The speed seems to be coming up now. They're aware now that break might work, and they're in one long line now. The speed is up again.
Team support car coming up for rider number 23, who is Brian Steele.
That's Mark Lovett from Great Britain as well. He's been on the Ross a few times. He finished 3rd overall last year.
And soon on the journey to Dungarvan, County Waterford, they'll be under and into the Jack Lynch tunnel. And the leaders coming out of the tunnel.
Lovett is there again, riding strongly.
Malarchik, Mackenzie not too far away either.
Now look at the bunch in one long line.
Now the speed is up.
Speed is
big
up
time
now.
now.
Yeah.
This is Middleton, East Cork.
And they're certainly strung out here. They haven't much time to look at Middleton. Beautiful town though it is.
Famous hurling town, of course, of John Fenton and co. One rider has made a go for it.
Jason McIntyre has a lone break. It's a hard one to pull on a race like this, Jim.
Now that's been tried time and oft, and it seldom succeeds unless it's a man of tremendous spirit and resolve.
I hope the commissars weren't watching that little sling there.
But it happens everywhere. If it happens on the Tour de France, why not happen on the FBD Milk Ras?
Indeed.
The All-County Cork, and it's one of the Swiss team.
Dominic Perez leading through, but they're on his tail. It's all together almost.
The tempo is being kept up. There it is now, approaching the end. There's a few ahead of them.
That looks like Jeremy Martins of South Africa. They begin to fox a bit, Jimmy. It looks as if they now have stopped working together and they're all going as individuals for the stage end for the victory.
But
Martin's being cagey there.
He is being cagey, and he hasn't done an overdose of work either. It's Lovett there as well. But his team has brought him up well, so now he's in a very good position. And here he goes, Jeremy Martins of South Africa from Johannesburg. Sat in, picked his moment, and this could be it, coming into Dungarvan.
He's done it exactly right. By the copybook, he's done that one.
He's up at the front. He's a couple of seconds on Lovett and Malarchik and Mackenzie. David O'Loughlin isn't far behind either, not in our picture. But the winner of the stage to Dungarvan is Martins of South Africa.
Today we started out very quick. The first 50 odd K we done in under an hour, I think. It was really, really quick. And then it started getting better and better as the stage went on. I started out myself. I thought, shit, I'm not going to make it. I had really, really bad legs in the first hour, and I started getting better and better and better. There were breaks going all the time, but the British were very strong today. They brought it back. And then with about 25k to go, there's a Cat 3. Myself, David Mackenzie, and a few others got away over the climb. And then the gap was always 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 20 seconds. Then coming into the town, our gap I think was 15 seconds. With about 2k to go, David Mackenzie and myself got away. Then with about a k to go, I thought, well, I wasn't good enough to win the sprint, so I thought I'd better have a go. And then when I looked back, I saw the gap was getting bigger and bigger. I put my head down and kept on going. I was never sure until about 200 meters to go, until I had it. But really, really, really happy with the stage win today.
In 3 hours, 34 minutes and 17 seconds.
Jeremy Martins!
It's a great win for him.
Timed it beautifully. It really was copybook stuff there. Timed it beautifully. Just outfoxed the boys who have been with them most of the day.
So Martins wins the stage from Lovett, from Malarchik, Mackenzie in 4th and O'Loughlin 5th. New yellow jersey, the 6th different yellow jersey this week. It's Christian is from Germany.
It's very close. It's incredible. There's a minute and a half separating the first 50 riders. After fantastic racing over 4 days, 4 or 5 days, there's such a little time gap separating, and any one of those 50 riders could win the race. It's incredible how people turn out. I mean, you look at it, you sort of feel that it has to be the most popular sporting event probably after the All-Ireland football, All-Ireland hurling finals, because the numbers of people that turn out, and it's fantastic to see the children turning out from schools and cheering the riders on. I know that the riders are really delighted because it's great morale boost. See so many people turning out. Stage end towns have been the best ever. There's been great crowds at each of our stage end towns, and hopefully through the FBD Milkross will encourage all and sundry, no matter what age, be it a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, or a 6-year, 7-year-old, to get up on their bikes and cycle. Don't have to do it competitively, but even as a leisure activity, it's a fantastic sport.
And so to the penultimate day, stage 7, from Dungarvan, County Waterford to Bunclody, County Wexford, 171 kilometres. Paul Manning was penalised 10 seconds yesterday, but he's determined today to do something about it, and determination counts for everything. Nicholas White, South Africa, wins the stage into Bunclody, and the aforementioned Manning gets up for second place, with last Sunday's winner David McCann in third place. So going into the last day of the FBD Milkross, the yellow jersey will be worn by Paul Manning from Britain. Traditionally, the final stage of a race doesn't really present difficulties for a yellow jersey wearer, but a city centre criterium could, just could, cause problems, so caution for the leader. But everybody else in the race will want to the stage and want to have a piece of glory of their own.
The amount of people who turned out in the towns and villages all over Ireland. I think with the foot in mouth, people were hungry for sport, and as the Ross went through the various towns, we had thousands of people out, and we had school children out, and for FBD and the NDC, that was a great part of the race, that people come out and enjoy themselves in all the different locations.
Obviously the route changes every year, but I think what we're most impressed with is the quality of the actual racing itself. And you can see it, the turnout here this afternoon in O'Connell Street is fantastic. Great crowd, and we're expecting a great finish. There's been excitement all the way.
The yellow jersey is home safe and sound. New Ross hero.
Yeah, I mean, I quite enjoyed today. The team was controlling the race quite well from the front, but still to finish and get onto the last few laps and see the countdown and the board was a real relief and cross the finish line. The staff and the other riders, you know, they've been tremendous. Everyone says you couldn't have done it without them, and it is really true in this case. I couldn't have done it without them.
And so another great annual FBD Milkross has come to conclusion. It continues to grow in strength, and now that it has qualification points for higher things, the FBD Milkross is surely on an even higher podium. From the race of 2001, bye-bye.